Weed's been a big part of my life, especially through the anxious young adult years. However, it does not single-handedly solve all problems. In today's video, I'm going to share how I get the best out of my medication using Stoicism and Daoism. Hello YouTube world, my name is Katie. If you're new around here, then welcome. But if you're not new, welcome back, love. So this video is a bit different, but stick with me. You never know. You might resonate, something might click inside you, and you might grab value out of the video. You never know. If not, I'm really sorry. So, like I said, this is a bit of a weird one, but basically, I'll just go straight in deep. I'm a pretty spiritual person. I love philosophy, and I have tried to live my life kind of like a Stoicism type of way and Daoism type of way. So I guess the best thing to do right now is to say, what is Stoicism? So Stoicism focuses on training and reframing the mind to not react to what is out of our control, basically. And Daoism is the art of flow. Think of it as you on a boat in a river going really, really fast with all these boulders in the river, and you just allow yourself to flow wherever the boat goes instead of trying to steer it yourself. So today's video is kind of going to be like tips and tricks of how I use my medication to the best ability I believe it has. There is huge benefits in the cannabis plant. Many will tell you that they can be very stressed at one point, worrying about something, and then they can medicate and their mind state changes, essentially. They go from worrying and stressing to just, you know what, it will work out. It always does. Throughout my life, I've been really, really anxious, right? Especially in my early 20s sort of age. I was pretty anxious. And so I would medicate to help me change my thoughts, help me change my perception on that. I knew nothing about these teachings when I was younger. Cannabis has like major qualities, especially within our minds. So what I mean by this is cannabis has a way of being able to change your outlook. It has a way of being able to change your mindset. You can be really, really anxious about something and then you medicate and you're not so anxious, right? There is an incredible power in that plant that is able to stop you thinking about things that you shouldn't necessarily think about because you don't need to. And learning about Stoicism and Daoism, they teach within yourself to just allow things to happen. So what I found was that whilst medicating and being in that altered state of not caring, essentially, when you're able to use the teachings that are so powerful of these philosophers with the combination of a creative plant that allows you to open your mind and see differently also, you bring it together and you have one hell of a powerful mindset changer. And a lot of things is in your head, right? A lot of things that when you're anxious about it, you're thinking about it because that's your perspective. You think these people are going to think something. You think someone's talking about you. You think something, whatever. When you have the ability to change that mindset into not caring and allowing anything to happen that comes your way, you can live a healthier, stress-free, worry-free, better mental health life. And so I just wanted to touch on really some ways that I feel you guys can also use your medication to the best of its ability. Because you must not forget how incredibly important it is to our minds. I don't want to go over it here, but we can in the comments if you wish, if you know what I'm talking about. The war on drugs, the war on when they were obviously turning it into a big hoo-ha and that you're not allowed it. They also did this with the higher drugs because they were changing altered reality states of people's minds and they weren't believing the things that they were just being told, right? So they changed that and they upped it to make it illegal so that people weren't able to actually see the universe for what it is. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, right? I would just like you guys to try and use your medication in conjunction with training your mind to not react to the things that happen in life. I genuinely believe that it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you react to it. And medicating for me allows me to put my mind into a rest state. And that's kind of an allowance, I guess, where I just allow things to be. People underestimate the power of your mind. So if you can get yourself into a good mindset, this is a great start for the rest of the day/week. Our minds are incredible. And we definitely do have some substances out there that are able to heighten our minds. Cannabis being one of them on the very low spectrum. But as I said, if you're able to incorporate some new ways of thinking whilst in an altered state, which allows you to accept those altered states of thinking, it becomes a lot easier to be able to live your life on a daily basis without worry or stress or angst about what's to come. So I'll give you an example of how I use the teachings that I have found with the weed. And that is, if I'm having a bad day, then usually what I'll do is I'll go and grab a cup of tea, I'll go and get everything prepared to medicate, and I'll sit down with myself, just me, nothing in the background, and I will focus on what it is that is bothering me. When I medicate, I allow myself to get into myself, if that makes sense. So I kind of take a step out of my mind and I observe what I'm feeling. So I'll go through with it myself and I'll say, what is the problem, you know, and I will react and say, this is the problem, this is how I'm feeling. I'll then say, okay, so what is there you can do about it? And, you know, my response is usually nothing. And then that part of me again comes in, right, so why are you worrying? If you feel like this, get it out now, and then you can move on and react to it appropriately. And I truly do wish that I had this outlook on life when I was younger, because when I was younger, you know, I was just medicating to get rid of the anxiety, getting rid of these thoughts, getting rid of these feelings, trying to get to sleep, trying to calm my mind and things like that. When now in my later life, I feel that I live a more stress-free, worry-free, carefree way of life because I'm able to look deeper within whilst using my medication to allow myself to open up my mind, because that's exactly what it does, you know. Cannabis has an incredible power of being able to open up your mind into different things. And when you use that ability with teachings that you've learned, for me, it just makes things go a lot smoother. So I always say, you know, you're either three types of people. You're either a regret person who lives in the past, so that you really, you know, regret what you've done. You wish you would have done certain things different. You're somebody who either lives in the present, so you only focus on this timeline, or you are a worrier, somebody that thinks about the future. They worry about how they're going to do this, what they're going to do, things like this, right? So for me, when I medicate, that allows me to put my mind back into a state of presence. So I don't worry about what's coming in the future. I don't think about regret of what I've done in the past. That's not in my mind. All I'm focusing on is how I can use what's happened now in my life as a stepping stone for the best for me. Everything that happens is an opportunity for you to become better, but it's how you react to that. So yeah, I just feel like weed can be used in such more higher ways that we don't even realize. Like, some of you may have even had like these weird little pops in your mind where you've gone from being in a certain state in your mind to being completely the opposite. and you don't even know why, right? And that's because the medicine is helping you. But I believe that if you can give yourself that extra push by learning and understanding that you are not always going to control things and just to allow it to happen, and when it comes to it, just deal with it then, you have a happier mindset. Like, you just live happier. So the art of flow, Daoism, this is really prevalent in my life as well, because I like to just flow, right? You hear a lot of people say, just go with the flow. Right, so there is something called Muay, and this is Chinese philosophy where basically it's the action of a non-action. So it's effortless action. Now, what I mean by this is, the best example I can give you is like a boxer, right? So you've got a boxer that's like fully in his zone. Have you ever seen one of these boxers who has just danced around the ring effortlessly, making it look so easy and absolutely destroying the opponent? If you don't know, I absolutely love Muay Thai, and so there is a man who does this incredibly well. His name is Lerdsila, and I'm going to insert a small little clip if I can, so that you can see what I'm talking about here.
In this episode, we explore the art of effortless fighting by the most evasive legend in fighting history. This is a man who can flow and crash. He is like water. His name, Lerdsila.
I'll put the link to the channel down below, because you really should look at his channel. It's great if you enjoy Muay Thai fighting. But just as Lawrence said, it's like water. Lerdsila flows like water, and he is outcome independent. Outcome independent means that you aren't worried about what the outcome is. Lerdsila once in his life went 100-0, meaning he won 100 fights in a row. And he doesn't care if he loses. He fights purely for the enjoyment. And look at what he does. When you allow yourself to effortlessly flow through life, you are rewarded. And I know that this is a bit of a weird video, but I truly do believe that you guys out there can also do something of the sort if you wish. Being able to use medical cannabis to activate those extra parts in your mind that you never knew you had can be very, very rewarding. And then if you tie that with knowledge that you have in life about yourself and how just not to care so much, you can become quite a powerful human up here. I know this is a weird one, so thank you for listening. I don't know if any of you are interested in future videos about, I don't know, any of this. I'm a pretty spiritual person, and I, like I say, use my medication to the full advantage if I can. And I'd be happy to tell you guys some ways in which I guess, mind train in order to do that. But if you've enjoyed this video, then please do hit the like button, of course. Subscribe if you're new. And of course, until the next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.